SAG-AFTRA, the union representing 160,000 actors, singers, stunt performers, and other media professionals, is on strike after talks with major studios and streamers collapsed. Now, the dispute is with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which bargains on behalf of studios like Disney, Netflix, and Amazon. The key issues at stake: higher pay, residuals, and the use of AI. We're joined now by one actor who's pushing for big changes in the industry, Sean Gunn. You may recognize him from his roles on the hit TV show Gilmore Girls, also from Guardians of the Galaxy movie franchise. Sean, it's great to have you. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us here this afternoon. A major issue.
Oh, thank you.
A major issue for you, Sean, with these talks, with the strike that's happening right now, is residuals and how little actors are paid, especially when shows are streamed. We're going to hear from Netflix. They're reporting earnings next hour. It's expected to be a very solid report. I'm curious, what's your message to streamers out there, given the fact that you're pushing for significant more pay?
Well, I mean, you know, part of the problem is that we're operating off of the old system. So it used to be very equitable for actors to participate in the profit sharing when there was shows that are in syndication and all these kinds of things. Well, the streamers came along and they changed the whole model of how business is done, but they continue operating off the old model. So now we don't share at all in the success of the of any of the shows that Netflix has. They want to keep their numbers secret and keep them private, and they do that so that they can screw us over and make sure that we don't get to participate when things are going well. And that just absolutely has to change. It's not fair. You know, we should all participate when there's success.
Sean, what is a fair structure?
Well, you know, first of all, I want to be clear that I'm not a member of the negotiating committee. I'm not a member of the SAG board. So I'm only talking on behalf of myself as a SAG member, which I've been for over 25 years. But you know, honestly, I'm a big fan of the NBA, and I feel like the NBA has struck a pretty good chord between labor and management because they're transparent. We get to see their numbers. They have. We know how much profit they're making, and then they split up those profits equitably amongst everybody who's participating. So, yeah, I think a fair deal is percentages. You know, we're not asking for a flat sum. We want a percentage. That's fair, because then when they cry, oh, our profits are down, we're not making as much. Okay, well, we'll participate in that too. We just want an appropriate portion of the profits that you're making.
And Sean, studios have pushed back, saying that the SAG-AFTRA union has dismissed their offers of historic pay, residual increases. We also heard from Disney CEO Bob Iger during an interview last week, and he was calling some of the demands from your side unrealistic. What's your response?
I think it's a shame. I'm using Bob's words there. It's a shame that you know, the WGA put numbers out and found that what they're asking for from Disney, and I again, I'm a SAG member, not a WGA member, but we stand together. I think we're all together on this fight. What the WGA is asking for from Disney is $75 million a year. That's how much it would cost them if they gave in to every last demand that the WGA has. Well, Bob Iger makes something like $50 million a year. Why is this okay? Why can't we shave some of those earnings off of the top people? I mean, the problem is that shareholders have decided that if we can squeeze every last dollar we can out of labor, then our profits will go up. But that's not right. It's not ethical. It's not equitable for anybody, and it's not fair.
How big of a pay cut, Sean, would you like to see from a Bob Iger? I mean, this guy's made hundreds of millions of dollars for many years over at Disney. I mean, he doesn't appear to be listening to anyone's concerns.
You know, look, Bob deserves to be rich. He's made his money out there doing his thing. But what he doesn't deserve is to shake his head and say, it's a shame for the people who are down at the bottom of the company that I work for. That, like, it's okay. I'm gonna get a few extra dollars of profit from the laborers, and then we'll fill our own coffers with that. That's just not fair. I mean, I think that in 1980, the average CEO in Bob's position made something like 30 times what the lowest worker for his company made. Now Bob makes 400 times. Like, come on, it's not fair. Let's all participate.
Sean, the other concern we haven't even talked about yet deals with AI and the impact that could potentially have on the entertainment industry. What are your biggest concerns when it comes to artificial intelligence and how that can really change the landscape for entertainment?
Well, let me be clear about one thing, which is that they've asked for, the AMPTP has asked for the right to scan an actor and own their likeness, own their image in perpetuity. I think anybody, you don't have to be an industry insider. I think anybody can look at that and say, that's not right. We can't just let people just own our likeness forever. That's absurd. We shouldn't do that. I do know that AI is it's changing. It's changing a little bit every year, and I don't know what the industry is doing on this, but I think that what would be most fair, because what we're looking for is fairness. What would be most fair is if we have a third party take a look every year at AI and say, let's look at how AI is changing the industry and make sure we implement that equally so that everybody's participating in its use. It will certainly help some facets of the industry. It'll hurt others, but let's make sure we take a look at this every year and see where it is.
Sean Gunn, we know it's a busy time for you and a very important time for you and your colleagues in the industry. Thanks for making time for Yahoo Finance. We appreciate it.